So this is take 2 of the intro because the first one I just shot, the energy wasn't there and I wasn't feeling it. So what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're making more progress on our STI here. Do you want to actually check something? I think I fixed the VDC, so VDC might work. Headlights disabled, check owner's manual, check engine, check owner's manual, SRS airbag system, check owner's manual. Did I really just fix the VDC? Hold up. Oh, that was my trunk button. Wrong button. I don't know if I did. The VDC light doesn't come on anymore. I can turn that off. Today we're making more progress on our STI. So when I originally built the fuel system for this car, I made a big dummy mistake and I forgot to use line that was E85 friendly. So we need to correct that. The line that I have in the car, it's like Evil Energy off of Amazon. It works fantastic for pump gas. On E85, I wouldn't suggest it. So I ordered some Vibrant -8 AN fuel line to replace all the feed. I have enough -6 to replace all the return that we have to do in the car as well. And I still need to add an inline fuel filter. Now the fuel filter that I have for the car is an Aeromotive -8 fuel filter. I think I hear FedEx. Our Evo's engine is out for delivery today too, so I'm also a little paranoid waiting for all these delivery trucks. Deliveries have been lately coming up here. So anyways, fuel filter. I need to order a Radium -8 fuel filter because the one I have just doesn't fit. It's too small in diameter. So on payday, I'll order the fuel filter, but I got the fuel filter bracket so we can at least get the bracket installed today. So that way we can get our fuel filter installed when it comes in. Also have a little bit of an update on the Volkswagen. Talked to the dealership today. They're pulling the spark plug, which I've already done all that. They're also pulling the oil pan to see if they can find the electrode from the spark plug in the oil pan, which I don't think they're going to find it, because logically that doesn't make sense to me how a spark plug electrode would go from a combustion chamber to the oiling system without bypassing the piston, but you never know. I guess black magic wizardry or something along those lines. So I'm actually pretty excited right now because I just got the first part reinstalled back on the EG33 with gaskets for the first time. So for me, I'm excited about this. So we have one of our TGV housings and fuel rails permanently bolted up with all of the bolts and the gasket, at least on the driver's side. The passenger side I'm still waiting on because I thought that it was only 4 bolts that hold this down. Turns out it's 7, so I need to go back to the auto parts store later and grab some more, but we have an actual gasket between the head and this. It's the first gasket that we've reinstalled on the car with actual parts, and this does not need to come back off the car again. So I am totally excited for that. I also have the IAG Competition Series AOS on the way for this. It should be here roughly Friday, so that way we can get all of our ports on the heads routed up to the air oil separator, get that going back down to the block, and then the big dong will go to that big giant catch can that we had fabricated for the car as well. So that way we have like a dual system type of thing. It'll work for what we're doing. And then yesterday, all of the coil packs showed up for the STI, so I need to find a way to fabricate all of these to make them mount somewhere in the engine bay. I've got 6 of these things and they're pretty large. So this is like a coil on plug setup. This is typical for what you'd find on most cars nowadays. The coil pack just goes in, that end goes to the spark plug, that end gets plugged into your electrical system. It grounds out using that little guy right there to the chassis or to the cylinder head. Bada bing, bada boom, you got a coil pack. These are coil near plugs. So the way that these work is they mount externally. We have to run a lead from here down to the spark plug, and then the electrical side on this actually has 3 different grounds. So this will be a fun one to mount in. But before we do any of the spark plug stuff, let's go ahead, hop back under the car. Let's get all that fuel line pulled out. Let's get this bracket installed. I'll show you guys where this bracket mounts up. It's like down in the trans tunnel, so it keeps it away from any moving components, which is nice. That way I don't have to try to use like weird awkward P-clips or any of like these type of universal brackets to hold down a fuel filter. We can just use this one. So let's go pull out some old fuel line. So I've got the fuel filter bracket mounted up, and while I was getting that done, UPS finally showed up. So one of the boxes of merch that I've been missing for like a week from UPS finally showed up, so I'm gonna take like a quick 45-minute break, go ship your guys' orders out real quick, come back out here and we're gonna keep going on this. UPS also just dropped off the seat sliders for the Sparko seat that we have in here. So we're gonna get that other driver's Sparko seat in the car now, so that way we have 2 seats finally, or 2 seats again in the car. Like I said, the driver's side, I need sliders. I'm a short dude, I'm like 5'7", so for me to be able to reach the pedals adequately, I need to be able to get up in there. But let me show you this fuel filter bracket first. Works, it fits in like a nice nifty little location. I'm about it. So it may be a little difficult to see. Dude, there's like no good way to show you guys. It's like right down there past the steering rack. You can kind of see it. It mounts to the the frame rail and to the chassis of the car, so that way it's not going to go anywhere. So our fuel filter will sit right down there. The fuel line will come up. It'll come up here, go to our Y fitting, go to each fuel rail, come out of the fuel rails, go to our fuel pressure regulator back there, go to an ethanol sensor, and then go back into the return line on the car. So let me go ship those out for you guys real quick, and then we'll come back out here and keep knocking stuff out on Blue. Okay, I'm back. I think I just got done shipping out like 100 orders or so, 100 more of them should be going out to you guys here. I'm gonna be dropping those off at USPS tonight. I've got another package of merch getting dropped off tomorrow, so if you haven't gotten a tracking number yet, just give it a little bit of time. UPS is still playing catch up, but I'm playing catch up when UPS plays catch up, so it's an all-around game of catch up right now. So anyways, while I was in there getting all of those orders done, we made some progress. Well, we didn't make any progress, but USPS did drop some stuff off for the Evo. We got a stock Evo 9 turbo and a stock exhaust manifold. With the Gulf being in the unknown right now, I'm trying to just get the Evo back on the road. So huge shout out to Chris for sending these over. I'm going to clean up this turbo heavily and that exhaust manifold. I'll probably Cerakote both of these. The exhaust housing on that, we'll sandblast it, Cerakote it. Same with this exhaust manifold, sandblast, Cerakote it. There is a crack in the gooch of this one somewhere. It's in one of those gooches. There's like 3 gooches on this thing, so I can weld that up. It's just, I think it's cast iron. I actually don't know how to weld cast iron, so I'm gonna have to do a Google on that one. So huge stuff for the Evo. The block should be getting dropped off today as well. So before I jump back to getting the rest of the fuel line out of this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and get the sliders put on this seat, so that way I can get the seat in the car, get it off the rack, and it's just one less thing that we have to do later. And it's just, I want to have both seats in the car. So let's get these sliders. I think I just got some Sparco ones, so we'll get those Sparco sliders on the seats and get everything working for us. Alright guys, so I've got the other race quip seat in the car. I don't know what's quite going on with that one. I'll show you that here in a second. I got the old fuel line out of the car. So this is the non-E85 rated line. This is Dash 8 Evil Energy line. That's only rated for fuel, like pump gas. The Vibrant stuff is rated for actual E85. Now with this seat over here, it's not the seat and it's not the mounting plate. So I think it has to be the sliders on this, because if you look at the seat, like, it shouldn't move that much. So I gotta figure out what's going on with that. But as you guys just saw, we got a box from out front. Woohoo! You guys know what that means. It's engine time. Scooby-doo-ba-boo. It's engine time. Scooba-boo-boo-boo. Oh. Bro, it looks so good. Hell yeah! Do that. Whenever you get an engine in a box, it's always a good idea to inspect it, just to make sure nothing in shipping happens, because you never know what'll happen in shipping. Can I pick this thing up? I'm sure I can. Oh my lord! Oh my Lanta! Oh. So yeah, so this should just be our Manly pistons that we got before. Our invoice from out front. Dude, we almost have everything to fully build our Evo's engine. Ugh. Dude, this thing came out so good. Dude, if you guys legit need machine work done, seriously, hit up Outfront. Like, I couldn't recommend them anymore. I agree. How did they get these out? I've always been curious how they get those out. This is beautiful. So, we had Outfront go through here. They resurfaced our block for us. They bored and honed these up 1 millimeter, so now these are all 86 millimeter. Yeah, dude, I just need to get the crank repolished now and the cams repolished, and we have everything to build a 4G63 for some power, baby, with our stock turbo for now. But you know what, that's all right. We already have our head back from the machine shop. Now that we've done all of our oohing and awing at the 4G63, it's time to start figuring out the ignition system on the car. So, like I showed you guys earlier, I have all of these Haltech coil packs here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the intake manifold and whatnot put back in, so that way I can kind of get a gauge of where I want to mount these, because there's some big coil packs. And to be honest, I don't know where I'm gonna put them quite yet. So, let's go hop in the engine bay and start figuring stuff out, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I can't really find any good ways to mount up these coil packs without like buying a bracket. So I found like this weird bracket thing that they make, which stacks up these coil packs 3 high on each side, and then you just have a bracket that you mount somewhere. So I think we're gonna do that, and I think I will make like a sub bracket that'll mount it right back here, like on the bell housing area, just to make things work a little bit better. And then we can run our 3 under the intake manifold, 3 under the intake manifold right there, and have them just go down to the heads like that. I can't find a better way to mount these things. They're just so awkward. They're awkward to try to find a home for, because I was like, all right, what if I try to like mount them like that? I was like, 1, 2, 3. I can't really do that on the other side because there's a turbo right in the way. I was like, over here, there's not really a spot to mount them either. I was like, what if I mount them, what if I mount them like right there? I was like, they're gonna see a lot of heat. There's also a downpipe right there. I was like, fuck, dude, I don't know. I don't know where you want me to mount these. Like, it would be kind of cool to have them just mounted like that, so that way they just went down. But I just don't feasibly see a way to be able to do that. I don't know how I'd mount them like that to make them just bloop, go straight down there, because that's such like a weird angle right there. And I'd have to have 2 for each side, and it just wouldn't make sense or work. So on payday, I'm just gonna order the bracket for these things. I know they're gonna go somewhere in the back here, and they're gonna be hidden behind everything else. So I can at least get wiring length pulled back to somewhere back here, trim them up a little bit, and then we can go from there. So now I'm gonna pop back into the computer right here and start accessing our fuel pump, because in theory, our fuel pumps should be priming, but for some reason they're not. And I think it's a setting inside of the ECU that I have to enable or turn on. So let me jump in the computer real quick and start to figure this out and see what's going on with that, and how I can get these things to prime. Maybe I wired it wrong, who knows? There's 2 fuel pumps, so maybe it needs 2 control wires versus 1 control wire, but I feel like the 1 control wire should be able to turn them both on. So, because it's just a trigger, because the fuel pumps get power straight from the battery, so I'm not, let me figure this out in the ECU. Made a mistake, which totally happens. This is a learning experience for me and a lot of you guys. So when I wired in the fuel pumps last time, which I need to go back right now and fix the mistake that I made on, I got the Haltech with the harness that has a built-in relay box. And in that relay box, there's already an allocation for a relay for the fuel pump. So that blue and orange wire that I thought was the trigger wire that closed the circuit to open the other circuit is actually a 12 volt. So I was sending 12 volts to the relay in the back of the car that was then trying to close the other relay and not send power to the fuel pump. So I got one of the fuel pumps to prime real quick. I need to permanently wire that up. Tanner, dude. So let me go through here and fix my mistake real quick, but let me show you guys. The fuel pump does prime. So it is spitting out a little bit of old E85, not much, just a little bit. So I've got this tube going into like a mason jar right there. So I've got this wire temporarily just mounted up to go to that. So now if I come up here and I hit the on button for our push start right down there, you can hear the fuel pump prime, and I don't think it's spitting out any fuel. There's like maybe drops of fuel down in the fuel tank right now. It's not spitting anything out down there. So let me go through here, change around a little bit of this wiring. What I'm gonna do is I have to run a new DPO. So I have to assign it in the Haltech, run a new DPO from the harness back here, connect that DPO to a relay, because that one's not on a relay. The only one that's on a relay is that blue and orange one right there. So I need to have 2 independent 12 volt sources to go to these fuel pumps, so that way I'm not trying to split 12 volt between 2 Walbiro 450s. So just because I think it's important to show you guys for this wiring aspect, so I took out all the wires that I had running from the front to the back, which is like 2 or 3 harnesses, and I just conjoined them all into one. So we're replicating like an OEM style. So on this one sub harness here, you can see just a bundle of wires coming out of it. The orange and blue one is going to go to the positive side of fuel pump 1. The black and white one is going to go to fuel temp negative. The yellow and gray one is going to go to fuel level positive. The purple and yellow one will go to our relay for the fuel pump in the trunk, and then this black one here is the negative for the battery. So I know as much as wiring looks confusing and it looks scary, it's really not bad. Once you know what all your wires do and you know where they're going, it's really not scary, I promise. Now, underneath of all this like sheathing, let me actually pull a little bit back. I have this dual wall 3-to-1 heat shrink going down the harness, and that's just going to keep all the wires together inside of this loom a little bit better. So with this loom, once you stretch it out and expand it, it stretches down and it compresses the wire a little bit more. I do suggest, if you guys are going to use this stuff, I'll link this down below if you guys want to use it. I do suggest like burning the ends of it with a lighter or something, or a torch, just to keep it from fraying. So now that we've got this done, I'm going to put another piece of heat shrink right there to seal off all of those. Then we're going to get this harness ran back here to the back seat, and that's where we're going to start doing our union for where some of these wires are going to go to the fuel pump, some of these are going to go to the trunk. So, I mean, let's keep wiring. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the fuel pumps both work! They both work now, and it is fantastic. So that wire, the whole issue they weren't working was my fault due to wiring. It happens, it's whatever, it's not the end of the world. I made my wiring even better than it was before, as you guys saw. It's all nice in one big loom going back here to the trunk, which I need to reassemble some of the stuff in the back seat now. But check it out, check it out, check it out. So if you listen back there, baby. And on the Haltech, they both reflect as being on when it is priming. So the prime time right now, I think I have set to 4 seconds. And then I can totally change when I want that second fuel pump to come on. Right here in the wiring tab, I've got it set up so I have a second DPO controlling the second fuel pump, and then the stock wire controlling the first fuel pump. And then we can go over here. We can totally set like prime time, everything like that. Our second fuel pump, we can control when it comes on, at what load it comes on. So right now, the second fuel pump won't come on. It just defaults down to it at 7.3 PSI. So when the Haltech sees 7.3 PSI in the map sensor up there, then it kicks on the second fuel pump. So we can control when we want the second fuel pump to come on. So right now, it's just defaulting to the prime. And then after it primes, it's pretty much like just inactive until we get to the point when it needs to be on. And by doing that, it makes it so that way that other fuel pump doesn't like overheat the fuel or get the fuel too hot. So I am actually really excited about this. We have a totally working fuel system at this point. Once the Vibrant Dash 8 line comes in, we can get the new line ran up, and we can get the fuel filter put in its little fuel filter basket thingy that we put in there earlier, get it ran up to the fuel rails, and then everything like that. Oh yeah, that's a big step right there for me. Getting each component we get working is a big step for me in my eyes, because this is all uncharted territory, new stuff for me, and doing this stuff, it's nerve-wracking, but it's also very exciting at the same time. So let me get the back seat reassembled a little bit, just get all the trim panels put back on there. I'm gonna leave the back seat itself out up until we go to run that new fuel line. There's no point in me putting it back on, because I'm just gonna take it right back out in like a day. So let's get the back seat reassembled real quick. All right, you guys, so that is where I'm stopping on this one. Huge progress on the STI and the Evo. We got a lot of Evo parts in today too. The short block, or the block, I guess. It's just a block right now. The turbo, the exhaust manifold. I still have injectors and some other stuff on the way. Like I said, I'm trying to get that Evo running again. In the event that the Golf is something that we have to tackle, I need a car to drive, and the Evo is technically the closest to running and driving right now. So Evo's taking priority between side project stuff. You guys know what I mean. So with the STI, as soon as this new Dash 8 fuel line shows up, we will go ahead and get that in the car. I think I'm gonna, if I have the funds tonight, I'm just gonna order the fuel filter. If not, I may have to wait. It's no big deal if I have to wait, it's not the end of the world. But incredible progress. We have a driver's seat now, fuel pump works. I now know that I need some other stuff for the coil packs to be able to mount those. Unless any of you guys have a better mounting solution for coil packs, please, by all means, let me know. I'm all ears. I'm open to suggestions if you guys have any, but that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if you like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, because we are making good progress with this car in every single video we are doing with it. Incredible. What we turned it over last STI video. We have a fuel system working now. It's all incredible to me, you guys. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, hit the button. One of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.